Okay. Yep, we are live. ಬಂದ್ಬೇಕು ನೋಡಿ ಇವಾಗ ಬಂತಾ ಹಾಂ ಓಕೆ ನಾನು ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಓಕೆ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ನೋಡೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹಲೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಓಕೆ ಹೇ ಗಾಯ್ಸ್ ಹಲೋ guys, can you just confirm if I'm audible? Can you drop a message in the chat? Yep, okay, great. Let's just wait for another 5 minutes. Hi Sneha, hi Sinchana. So let's just wait for another 5 minutes and then we'll just get started, okay? There was some glitch connecting to YouTube, so we had to change the YouTube link at the last moment. So really sorry for that. But we are sharing the new link in Discord, so please share that among your friends if they are not in the Discord. Okay. Right. We'll just wait for another 10 minutes. Let's just wait for until 4:10. Okay, that's 6 minutes from now. Then we'll get started. Okay. So meanwhile, if you guys have any questions or you want to talk about something, you can just feel free to drop that in YouTube live chat. We'll talk about that. All right, let's just wait for, okay, there's 5 more minutes left, so let's just wait and then let's get started. Okay. Is the connection okay? Do you guys are you guys experiencing any lag or anything from my side? Because in the preview I see the video is a bit laggy. Are you guys experiencing any network, the quality drop or any lag over the video, the live stream? Is that the case? Can you confirm that the live video is correct? It's not lagging, or it's not of low quality or something like that? Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So we're waiting. So we'll wait for another 4 minutes. Let's get started at 4:10. Okay. Not lagging. Great. Thank you. Yeah, Peter Kumar, man. Okay. All right, fine. Although I'm not sure who's Peter Kumar, though people are calling out Peter Kumar for me after seeing that, the sneak peek. So it would be great if you guys give me an heads up, like who's Peter Kumar, or anything, any information on that guy. Right. Okay, Peter. Great. Yeah, yeah, I got it. I know your Rimbos. Like when I saw the message Peter Kumar, I figured out that you must be the man behind Rimbos. So it's great to meet you. All right. So with just 3 minutes out, so let's just wait for another 3 minutes. Okay. So meanwhile, please share the link with your friends. I'll just drop the new link here as well. So if any of your friends are interested, it would be great if you can, share that with them and get them on this live stream. I mean, it's not like it was just a practice website that I made for the event, so it was not my own portfolio website. So if you guys want to deploy that website, you can obviously use that photo. It's not like you need to use some random picture for that portfolio. Alright, I'm getting some warning from YouTube. I think this is common because I did see this message couple of times when I was taking some live class few months back. Hopefully, it's not. This won't be an issue. Again, guys, if you are experiencing a low quality video, right, a low quality stream in your phone or in your PC, just go to the settings, increase the quality. Okay, YouTube might drop the quality if it determines that the network connection from your side is low. If that's the case, just go check the quality settings and then increase it to 720 pixel or 180 1080 pixel. Okay, that should be great. Although I'll try to zoom in the code so that I'll just increase the font size in my code so that it's visible for you guys. But even though if you find it laggy or distorted, just go to the quality settings and then increase it. Okay. All right, we'll just wait for another 1 minute. It's already 4:09, so let's just wait for 1 minute. 1 minute more. Is the live stopped? David, live stop ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? No, live must be running from my side. Geo network is very slow today. Okay. All right, it's 4:10, so let's get started. So meanwhile, if someone's trying to join, please share the link with them, let them join. Okay, so let's get started from our side. So I thought of using Core Sandbox initially. Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, I love that, man. Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah. So I thought of using Core Sandbox so that if you guys don't have VS Code setup or anything, it would be great. But the thing is, we don't get a live real time preview of what we do. So whenever I write code, I have to save and then go back to the output and then refresh it. So that was really bad. It takes a lot of time from our side as well. So what I thought was that I'm going to use VS Code. Okay, so I would suggest you guys to I think already almost all of you has VS Code set up in your system, right? If you don't have, you can just go to VS Code download in Google, go to the first link, okay, and then download to your respective operating system. Okay, it just takes 10 to 5 minutes to set this up. It's not complex or anything. Okay, and then you don't need any plugins or anything since we are just doing HTML and Bootstrap, so you don't need much plugins as well to set it up. All right, so I'm gonna be using VS Code. Let me just open up my code. Great. So I'll just create a new folder. Let me just move this this one to my other screen. Great. 1 second. I'll just open my recent. Okay, new window. Right. So let me just create a new folder. I'll click open folder, documents, Pawan Kumar, Bootstrap. Okay. All right. So now we have empty project file here. So as we can see, we are inside this Bootstrap portfolio folder, and there is no file or anything. It's just an empty project, right? So now I'm going to create a new file. So to create a new file, you can see, I cannot zoom in here, but I think you can see this first icon, right? So just have to click that, and then just type index.html. Okay. Make sure the name is correct. Okay. Make sure the name is exactly correct. It should be index.html. The reason is, let's say you deploy this portfolio. Okay, you deploy this portfolio to some other website like Netlify, Vercel, or any other platform. If it is not index.html, it won't automatically show up. You have to do some configuration, because in web development, index.html is treated as something called root. So whenever a server sees index.html, it will automatically think that is the starting point of your website. Okay, so always make sure that if you're deploying anything regarding HTML file, you will always have index.html setup, or you have a custom configuration setup for that server where you're deploying. Okay, so I hope that I made that clear for you guys. So let me just pull up the chats real quick, or else I'll just miss those chats. Great. Okay, right. Now I have another what do you say, extension installed in this VS Code. To install that, go to this box icon here. Okay, that's called extensions. Okay, and then search for live server. So here you can see the first one, right? Live server. So make sure you install that. I've already installed it. Make sure you install that. The reason why we need it is, so without this, what you have to do is you have to write your HTML code, save the file, and then go back to browser, refresh it to see those changes. But we don't have time for that, right? I mean, we have to see the output in real time as I type in my code, right? That saves us a lot of time. So what this does is, it will keep an eye on your code. So whenever you try to change something in your code, it will automatically refresh the browser so that you see the output in real time. So that's what we'll be doing. So install this live server. Again, guys, it's live server. Okay, the icon is something like this. It's built by Ritvik Day. Okay, it has around so many downloads. So look into this. So once you set this up, you can, if you see at the bottom here, unfortunately I cannot make this bigger. Oh yeah, I can make this bigger. So this one, can you see this icon here? It says click to run live server. So when I click this, it will start up, and I get this in the browser. So it opened in my another browser. So let me just get it over here. Okay, so this is all the setup you need. Just one extension to make sure that you have everything ready for the development. Okay, so you guys have any doubts up till now? Anything? Any doubts, like wherever you stuck, or did you, the points you missed or anything? You have any doubt up till now? Any questions? Can I proceed further then? No questions? All right, great. So, okay, so now we are in index.html file. Right, now let's get started with our code. So in VS Code, right, there is this amazing trick that you can do to set up your base code of your HTML file. All you have to do is you just have to type one exclamatory mark, just one exclamatory mark, and then hit enter. So this will give you a base setup of your HTML code. So this is actually the base setup of HTML code. Okay, I'll just go through the code one by one, okay, line by line, and tell you like what is the meaning of that code here. Okay, again, just one exclamatory mark. Okay, so the first line is doc type HTML. Right, this is the new concept introduced from HTML5. What it does is, it will tell the browser that, hey, this is a document That is a type of HTML. That's all it does. Okay, so what happens by this is actually optional. It's not like you have to do it every single time, but doing it is actually a best practice. So what happens is, when this file tells the browser that this is an HTML file, browser will load up its support for HTML. So each browser will have their own set of support for HTML files, how they work, how they parse it, how they compile and everything. So this line will actually help the browser to give you a best experience by loading up all the required packages and everything that is from the browser side to parse your HTML. Okay, so this will improve your experience in the browser. Next thing is HTML. So HTML is a basic tag that you guys are already familiar with. Okay, that is a root tag of your HTML document. Then we have head tag. So head tag is will define the base data of your HTML document. So inside we have meta here. Meta tag defines slight information of your document. So charZ UTF. So UTF is an encoding format, okay, character encoding format. So we are specifying that, hey, this website will utilize this UTF-8 format for encoding text. Okay. So you have, I think there are multiple encoding styles like UTF-16, I guess. So where we display like a Chinese alphabets, Japanese alphabets, and everything, right? So all these alphabets fall under different encoding styles. Okay, and this website uses UTF-8, where we can encode English letters or any other language specific letters and everything. So this meta tag here, the line number 4 meta tag, is actually telling that, hey, this website or this document supports UTF-8 encoding format. Okay. Then we have HTTP equivalent UXA compatible content EH. So this is another information similar to that, the compatibility information. And then we have viewport, and this is actually important for you guys. Okay, the line number 6 is actually important. So have you guys heard about responsiveness, right? Where you design your website for like how it should look on mobile phone, how it should look on tablet devices, how it should look on small screen PCs, large screen PCs and everything. So in order to make sure that your responsiveness actually works, this line is really important. Without this line, no matter how many responsive breakpoints you write in a CSS code, it won't work. Okay, what it says is viewport. So it's saying, hey, this is the information regarding viewport. So viewport is actually this one. So you can see my browser here, right? We have this white color screen, right? So this whole thing is a viewport. Okay, its whole thing is a viewport. So whatever I can see, okay, in this browser right now, okay, all I can see is a white screen, but imagine there is some content. Okay, all those things is a viewport. So whatever comes under this screen right now, okay, whatever I can see here, that's the whole thing is considered as a viewport. Okay, and then here we have width, device width. So we are saying that, hey, that viewport will be considered as device width. So right, so my screen here is a 2K screen. I think it's 2500 pixel, I guess, the width. So the width will be 2500 pixel here. Okay, and then initial scale is 0, so 1.0. So this is the base scale. So initial scale is nothing but a zoom. Okay, the zoom, what is the level of zoom we need? So it's by default is set to 1.0 and it's a recommended scale. Okay, keep it that way. Okay, so without this particular code, your responsiveness won't work. Okay, and title is here. You can see here, if I change this to Pavan, oops, God. Okay, if I refresh, you can see here, it comes on the top, I can see Pavan, right? So that's the title bar. Okay. I think head tag is made clear for you guys, right? Head tag is used to define information regarding your site or your website. Okay, that information that users can see. Actually, whatever I write in body, user can see that, but whatever I write in the header, user can see that except title. Okay, so whatever you write in the head is for the servers, whatever you write in the body is for the users. Okay, you can think about something like that. Okay, clear? Are you guys clear with head tag, body tag and everything? Alright, can I proceed further? Alright, nice, cool. Let me move on then. Okay, so before actually jumping into the code, let's just see what is our output, okay, what will be our end product. So we'll be building something like this. Let me just zoom in a bit. Okay, since my screen is big, this won't look good in my screen though. Let me just jump in, although let me just show you that. Okay, so you have to notice few things here. Forget about the UI, okay, forget about the content. Okay, do not see the output as, oh, we have a name, we have an image, we have some about me content. Forget about that. Okay, think first, look at the structure. Okay, how we have structured it. Okay, so you can see here my name is here and there is some picture. Apparently this guy name is Peter. Peter, I guess people are people are trolling me for that. Okay, so look at the structure here. You can see there is some white space on the left hand side and then white space on the right hand side. It's actually blank. All the content are in the center for me, right? Can anybody just guess why is that? Why do we have to do that? Why can't I have my name totally on the left hand side, and why can't I have this picture totally on the right hand side? Why did I align everything towards the center? Can you guys guess that why? I think some of you might already know that, but cool, that's okay. And yeah, so we have some basics, scales and everything that has some hover effects, right? And then, okay, we have some challenge session here that I will tell you later. And we have some project as well that has some demo, GitHub source code and everything. Okay, great. So now let's get started. Okay, this is what we'll be building today. So let's get started with that. Okay. Okay, so first thing is we need to update the body color here, right? So our theme is dark theme. So we need to make sure that our body will be dark theme. But wait, we don't have CSS yet, right? We don't have CSS. So let's create a CSS file here. So I'm going to say style.css. And then I have to import it. Without importing, obviously we know that we won't be able to use it. So I'm going to just add a comment saying that CSS, I'll be specific, I'm going to say custom CSS. Then I'm going to use a link tag to add a style sheet with hrefs pointing to style.css. So this will import my style.css file here. So now whatever the styles I write will be reflected on my HTML document. So let me get that color here. So I'm going to say body, because I need the whole document to be dark theme, so to be that dark color. And we know that the main parent tag of this particular document is the body tag here, right? So if I apply background color of dark for this, then the whole document will be will actually contain the body, like the background color of dark color. So I'm going to say background color, and the color is 272734. Okay, so if I come back, you can see the whole document is dark right now. So one thing is achieved. So the color is 272734. I have this color listed in my note here, so I'm just looking at the screen. Okay, because I obviously cannot by heart all these colors, and I don't recommend you guys to by heart as well. That doesn't make any sense, right? Okay, now that's great, but the whole thing of this workshop was Bootstrap, right? But why am I writing custom CSS here? Can anybody guess why am I writing custom CSS, even though the title of this workshop is Bootstrap with HTML? Can anybody guess that? I'm just waiting for an answer. I'll just give you 1 minute. Can you guys answer that? No? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Ruwala says no. Actually, okay, he's up to something. Okay. You guys got the question right. We actually, I actually openly told in the Discord as well that we'll be doing a workshop regarding Bootstrap, but nowhere here I'm using Bootstrap. Why did I create a custom CSS file instead of using Bootstrap? At least reply, guys. At least say no or yes or something that comes to your mind. That's fine. I just want some interaction on the on this comment. That's it, on the chat. Any idea? No? For some small adjustments. Yeah, this is correct actually. Cool then. Let's get started. So the reason why I'm using custom CSS here is, I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you. So now let's install Bootstrap here. So to install Bootstrap, all you have to do is just type in Bootstrap, okay, CDN, Bootstrap CDN link. Then go to the first one. Right, this is from Bootstrap itself. Wait, this is old link. Wait. This is the old link. This is not the, okay, this is the Bootstrap 3. Wait, this is not the correct link. Bootstrap 5 V5 CDN. Yep. Yes, this is the Bootstrap V5 latest. Okay, and then you can come to here. Okay, so it says CSS, copy paste the CSS style sheet link to your head tag before the style sheet load of CSS, right? So what they're saying is this particular link, right? This particular link has all the CSS code from Bootstrap. So if you copy this link and then check it out in your browser, you can actually see a lot of text here, a lot of messed up text here. So this is actually the complete CSS code of Bootstrap. So this is minified. So what do you mean by minified? You know, right now my code is structured here, right? In this document, in HTML code, my code is structured. You can see here after HTML we have a gap, and then we have tag, and then we have two space, then meta tag, and then again here while closing the head tag we cancel the space one. Actually it's pretty good, right, to someone to look at, but this one not really. The reason why they do this is, so if I check the size of this index file, so it will be, let's say it is around 12 KB. Okay, if I minify this, it will come to 2 to 4 KB. That's it. So basically we're stripping out all these white spaces to reduce the size. That's what these people are doing here. Okay, that's why it's messed up. But it's the complete CSS of Bootstrap. Okay, so we will be including that in our website right now in an HTML document. So I'm going to copy this code. Okay, I'm going to paste it here as well if you guys need it. Oops, I have, okay, seems like I cannot paste it over directly here because YouTube has some limit in their chat, but I'm going to paste the link. So I'll just copy this, and then they clearly said that put it in your head tag. So I'm going to go to header, I'm going to go here, I'm going to say Bootstrap, oops, Bootstrap CSS, put it. Okay, so I pasted it. So now Bootstrap, it should be done. Okay, Bootstrap is done. Although they have one more thing you need to, if you guys need some interactions, like, what do you say, that alert interaction or push notification and everything, you need to have JS bundle as well. But in this portfolio, we won't be using any of those interaction. Like, like for example, if I toggle this for mobile screen, right? So you can see here, if I click on this button, I get this nav bar collapse, right? If I close, it goes back, right? So this is actually JavaScript interaction. So if you guys need something like that from Bootstrap, you have to include this bundle as well, this JavaScript bundle in your body tag over here. It should be here. Okay, it should be here, not on the top. Okay, but we won't be using that in our portfolio, so I'll skip that. Okay, I don't, since we don't need it, it doesn't make any sense to include that as well. Okay, this is enough. Okay, so now if I go back, wait, something happened, isn't it? Can you guys tell me what happened here? What's the issue? I mean, clearly we can see that the background color that we have is vanished right now. So how can we fix this? You guys got the question, right? So initially we can see that we had a background. So if I remove this Bootstrap, if I go back, my body turns to dark color. But if I come back here, see, I mean, something is wrong here. My code, my CSS I write is not actually reflecting. So what might be the issue? Can someone tell me, apart from Ruvala? So because Ruvala know this because I helped him fix this, but Ruvala just don't reply for this one. So apart from him, can anyone tell me what's exactly happening here? Anyone? Any idea like what exactly happened or why this thing is causing it or the reason behind it? Do you think I made a mistake on the way I imported Bootstrap? Do you think that's the mistake, like the way I imported it, or do you think there's another way to do this? Is that the problem? No? Anyone? Come on guys, there are 51 people on this one. We need to use Bootstrap code. Okay, got it. Any other answers? Alright, let me just tell you the answer is. The answer here is the way we import things, okay, the hierarchy. Okay, so just look at my HTML code. I have my custom CSS first. Okay, so what happens is, whenever this HTML code is loaded in the browser, so the first thing browser does is, hey, okay, there is some custom CSS here, let me load those styles. So initially the background color of my body would be this dark color. That's great. But then what happens is the browser will load Bootstrap CSS. Right, Bootstrap CSS will have its own body color that is white. So basically it's overriding it. So what the browser did is, okay, so I found these two code, okay, I found two conflicting here. So even style.css has a body background of some color and Bootstrap also has a body background of some color. Now, which one should I use? So it will look for hierarchy. So what is the first CSS here? Latest CSS. The latest one is Bootstrap, right? The oldest one was custom CSS. So it will remove the oldest one and update the background color with the latest CSS that you imported. That's why we are getting white background instead of some dark background. Now how can we fix this? We can fix this by making our custom CSS as the latest one or on the top. Now you can see we literally overrided the Bootstrap background color. Now the browser will think, okay, the Bootstrap has some background color, this custom CSS has some background color, but the latest one is this custom CSS. But then it will change the background color to the latest file or the latest code that we have, that is the dark background. All right, clear now? Great. So this is how you guys have to keep in mind on the hierarchy of how we import things, how we set up these things. This might seem simple, but this actually will cause a lot of issue in the future. Okay, so you guys have to have a caution or have a thought on how you set up all this stuff. Which one you need first? Which one should be on top of something? Which one should have a highest priority? All this stuff. Okay. Next up. Now tell me. Now the first thing that we need is a navbar. So let's start with our first step, that is the navbar. So we don't have anything on the navbar though, but we just have some name. So let's add that. So you guys might think one thing, that going to the Bootstrap documentation here, search for navbar. I think this is the old one. This is the old one? No, it's correct. Yeah. So if I search for navbar here, go back. Right, I get some examples here with the code. I get some similar small example that we need. So this is what we need, right? We don't need any content, we just need the title. So I have the code here. So if I copy paste this code, do you think that's right? Tell me guys, I'll just copy paste this code here. Do you think that's a mistake, what I'm doing right now? Do you guys think that? So I did copy paste it right now. Do you think that's a mistake? See? If it is yes, why? And if it is no, why? Just a brief answer. I don't need a lengthy one or an explanation and everything. I know that's not possible in this chat right now. Just a simple one, just 1 or 2 word. I see a couple of no's. Okay, great. People are on my side though. Thank you so much. Let me tell you why. Okay, the reason, the purpose of this documentation is to let you save time and then copy paste the code, for simple task. Okay, this is a simple task. All I wanted was some text here with an navbar. So just think about it. I have to, if I do it custom, like from scratch, right? Having a nav, putting a class name for that, having a div, putting a class name for that, having a span, putting a class name for that. That would take a lot of time, right? I have to customly code it. But I just browse through some examples in the documentation. I find whatever I need. I just copy paste the code. That saves a lot of time for me. But it doesn't make me a bad developer, or it doesn't make my experience as some people might think that, because I've seen many people actually doing this mistake. people think that copy pasting from documentation is really bad. It's not. But how you do that depends on how you actually do it. So if you try to search for every single thing, so right now this is what I got, but this is not the exact thing that I wanted, right? So I'll just edit this. Let's say Pavan portfolio, right? Got it. And then I'm going to change this background color as well. So think about it. So we don't need any background, right? So all we do is we just say background none. It's gone. But wait, we need to change the text color as well, right? We'll just say text white. That's all. See, it's done. So this is how we have to do it. It doesn't matter if you write, it's not like you have to write every single code from scratch. You can get at least the base setup from the documentation, then build upon that, modify it. That's actually good. But some people tend to search every single thing, even this exact code online. That's actually bad. Okay, don't do that. So if you think that you'll get exact code online and you have to search for that and without putting in your effort, that's actually bad. Don't do it, please. Okay, if you find something that is relative to what you are looking for, get it and try to update it. Okay, try to modify that according to your requirement. That's actually good. Okay. So now we got it. Although you can see one thing over here, that it doesn't have much space, right? It's kind of like attached on the top and everything, right? So let's just put up some padding for that. So for padding in Bootstrap we use P, and then I'm gonna say 2. Okay, it's better. I'm gonna say PX for right and left padding, and for PY I'm gonna just specify a lot. That's better, right? That's better. And then this is actually good. So now navbar is set up, right? Navbar is set up. So let's move on to the next one, that is all these contents. So one thing that I want you guys to follow while building a website or building anything, okay, that's UI related, not a backend, that is UI related, okay, the client side or the front end. Always build mobile first. Okay, always follow mobile first approach. Okay, so just open up your dev tools. I'll show you how we can do that. Right click on inspect. Okay, then a dev tool, something like this will pop up. I've actually detached it, but we'll get something like this. Okay, can you see this icon here, a mobile icon? So if you click on that, that will actually trigger. I'll just detach it. One second, guys. Oh, come on. This is great. Good. Yes. So you'll get something like this. You have to click on this mobile icon to make it, to trigger the device sizes. Okay, right now I'm going to select Pixel 5. So this has around 393. So this is a mobile screen. Okay, so right now whatever I'm saying will be the mobile screen output. So it's always a best practice, okay, for you guys whenever you're building UI, okay, the front end side, okay, it might be HTML or React or Angular or anything. Always follow mobile first approach, meaning that you first build for mobile devices and then for tablet devices like iPad mini, something like that, and then go for PC, okay, the small laptop screen and then big desktop screen. You have to follow this way, because if you build for desktop first, then you have to write a lot of CSS code. That's a mess, okay, to make it responsive. Always follow mobile first approach. Build for mobile first. Get the requirement. Ask your client or ask your managers that if we need it responsive. If they say no, then that's fine. Build it for PC. If they say yes, then start from mobile device first. That's actually a better approach to that will help you to manage your CSS as well. Managing CSS code is a very hard task, and if you follow mobile first approach, you can achieve a very good amount of managing your CSS code, and then you can organize it really well. Okay. So let's go with mobile first. And since we don't have much content on navbar, navbar looks fine even in mobile, PC, tablet and everything. So we'll skip that. So now we will add the hero content. Hero content is something that we call for this one. Okay, it's not a custom name I came up with just to brag my name here. This is what we call in landing pages or anything, okay, in single page. So this top content, whatever comes below the navbar, is known as hero content. Okay, that's a standard name. I didn't come up with that. Okay, just to be clear here. Right, so we have hero content, and then let's see how this looks in mobile devices. I have this amazing website that will help me to test my website on many devices here. I'm going to drop this link for you guys as well in the chat so that you can use it in the future as well. So I'm going to go here, copy this localhost code, paste it here. Wait, check. Okay, so now I'm going to go with mobile, and then I'm going to select a good mobile here. Let me select Pixel 2. Okay, so I got this. Okay, let me open up a second responsive test tool and then open up. Oh, okay, this is bad. I don't have it deployed though, but if I refresh this, then this output will be gone. So I'm gonna keep it this way. Right, so you can see this output for mobile devices, right? A good output. So we have this image, we have name and everything here. So let's do that. So first let's add the name. Right, so I'm going to say main here. The reason why I'm using main is the navbar is not that important for us right now. The main content starts after the navbar, right? All these content like the picture, the introduction, about me, skills and everything are a main content of a website, right? That's what we want user to see. If someone who is recruiting me comes to my website, I want them to see all those main content. So I'm going to wrap this up in a main tag. Okay, and then I'm going to use section. So this section, wait, this is not here, this should be here. This is the hero section. Okay, this is the hero section. So now we will write what do we need here in the hero section? We need an image. I'm going to use a div that will essentially give me an image, and then I'm going to use another div that will help me to define all this description. Okay, we need two contents in the header, in the hero. What is that two contents? One is image and one is some description. So this div will have an image and this div will have some description. Okay, that's how you have to think about it. So let's say here, wait. So let's say this is your website, this is your picture, okay, this is your phone, or this is the design that you have given. So let's say you have an image, you have some title here, and then you have some description, something like this. Let's say this is a design that your designer has given to you and asked you to build some website. What you have to do is you have to break this down. Okay, first break this down into levels. Let's say, okay, this is one level, this is another level, this is the another level. So 4 levels. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, right? And then look at the first level. So first level has nothing, just one simple box. So just one div. Okay, just one div. The second level actually has two content. So if I divide it, we get one div here and one div here. The third level doesn't have anything, just one content, so one div. But the fourth level here, right, fourth level has one box, but inside that we have 3 columns. So how can we do that? We'll look into that later. Okay, I'm going to tell you how you can achieve that. But for now, keep this pending. Okay, this is pending. But I think I made it clear for the rest of the things, right? Even in our hero page, we have one section, but inside that we have 2 things. One is the image and one is the description. So we divide them. Okay, we create a section, then divide them using a divs. Okay, great. Now let's give a good class names for this. I personally suggest you guys to follow this one, BEM CSS naming convention. So this is a standard, the way you name CSS, because CSS name is really important when you write CSS, because you can see a lot of class names in CSS. So following a good naming standard is really important whenever you are developing with CSS. Okay, so we'll follow this one. So just if you wanna, I'll just drop this link for you guys in the YouTube chat. So try to follow this. Okay, it's really important that you guys learn some standards, while writing CSS code. Then this is one of the standards that you need as a developer, as a full stack developer or a front end developer. Okay, so now we will do that. So what is this section about? This section is about hero, right? Hero container. Let's say this section contains hero content. Okay, and then we need a div. So what is this div? What is this div about? It's about hero image. So this section is about hero image. And what is this section? What is this div is about? Hero description. Description. Notice my standard here. All the standard has hero here in class name, and they have an underscore, right? They have an underscore, and then they have the purpose. So the purpose of this section is container of what? Of hero. The purpose of div is image of what? Of hero. The purpose of this div is description of what? Of hero. Okay. Look at the standards. It's very easy to read as well. Okay. So try to follow something like this. Okay. Now we'll add an image inside this. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll say div. Okay. Div. Let's just check the output once. So we need an image here on top, and at the bottom we need a text, right? How we can do that? We use something called columns. So if you go to Bootstrap and go to columns here in layout, you can see this. It says learn how to modify columns with handful option of alignment, ordering, offset thanks to Flexbox grid system. So let me tell you why Bootstrap was famous before. So before we didn't have any flex or grid in CSS. It was really hard to align contents, really hard to maintain a layout in CSS. When Bootstrap came up with this amazing thing called columns. So Bootstrap was the first people to introduce these columns. Okay, so what they did was that they told you, hey, listen, I know you're struggling with this alignment and everything. So we will give you something like this. So imagine this is your screen. Okay, we will divide the screen to 12 columns. Okay, they will divide the screen to 12 columns. I don't know whether we have 12 here, but just assume we have 12 columns here. Okay, and depending on that column, you can actually align your content. So let's say for mobile devices, right? In mobile devices, we need an image here and some text here, right? That's what we have. So think about this. So this image takes up one column that takes up all the width of the screen, and in description takes up one column that takes up the whole width of the screen. So basically one column that takes up whole width, and we divide them into two. That's what we're doing here. Okay. So let's see how to do that. So to add a column, all you have to do is you just have to call column, call, that's it, a class name. And then you can specify the number as well. So column 4, so it will take up 4 columns. Column 5, the content, whatever you add inside this will take up 5 columns. Okay. Remember one thing, the total number of columns Bootstrap provides is 12. Okay. Now what we'll do here is I'm going to transfer this to here. I'll define the column here for the image. Okay, for the hero image, I'm going to say call 12. Why am I specifying 12? Because I want the image to take up all the width here, the whole width, the whole view of this particular screen for the mobile screen. Okay. Now I can add an image here. I'm going to say image. Right, let me just get the image link. Right. Okay. See, we got this image. Although it's overflowing. Okay, we'll see how to fix that. But we can see the image appeared. We will see how we can align that as well. I'm going to give an alt tag as alt attribute as profile image. Okay, and then we need to specify some styles. Okay. Now I'm going to say I need height of 100%. Okay, let's take 100% height. Although it doesn't do anything much here, that's fine. We'll tackle that as well. And then I'm going to say I need rounded borders. Rounded 4. So what is rounded 4? Is spelling correct? Yeah. So if you can see, okay, I don't think you can see this, but I'll show you what is rounded 4. Okay, let's keep this aside for now. And then let's align this particular content first. Okay. Then I'm going to just say hero image width 50. W5 stands for width 50, and then I'll just say width 100%. Now everything looks fine, right? The image is properly aligned. So if you were in my previous workshop before, you know why I'm using div to add an image, right? Why we are actually wrapping image inside a div. If you're in my previous bootcamps, you might know this. The reason why we do this is to align the content properly, to contain them properly. Okay, image div by default takes up the whole width of the screen. Okay, by default div doesn't overflow. Okay, if you provide width as 393 pixel, it will only take 393 pixel. That's what div's speciality is. Okay, so when you wrap your image inside a div, you get the superpowers to control how, to resize them. Okay, to resize them properly. By default, image does not do that. Image will just take up any width. Okay, so let's say this image is around 1000 pixel, it will take 1000 pixel. Even though your screen is 393 pixel, it will take 1000 pixel and it will overflow. So basically you have to scroll. Okay, that's what happened before, right now, a few seconds back. That's the reason I personally suggest you guys to wrap your image inside a div. Okay, that's how you can handle the image size properly, no matter whatever the screen size is. Okay, now we can see I'm giving width as 50% and width as 100% here. So what's happening is this div is 50% now. So this div is occupying 50% of this screen width. And when I say width 100%, this image will get only this particular of the what do you say? Let me explain that properly, guys. I know this is confusing a bit, but let me explain it properly. So this is our screen, right? So by default, div was taking this width as 100%, right? So when I told the div that to take width as 50%, what happened was now div only takes up this amount of space, right? And then when I say 100% for this image, now image will look up to its parent. The parent is div class here. It will say, hey, I want to occupy 100% of my parent's width. What is the parent width here? Off of the screen. So now what will the image think? Okay, I have to occupy whatever the space my parent has. So now the image will occupy this whole space. That's the reason we got off of the screen. Got it? Understood about this one? Like why exactly we're using div to handle an image. Got it? Understood? I hope I made that clear, because this is tricky, but it's really helpful for you guys to understand this one. Okay. Great. All right. So now what we'll do is there is one more requirement for us to get this on the center of the screen. So how can we do that? I mean, yeah, we can write, we can use flex here, right? We can use flex to get it on the center. So now what we'll do is I'm going to say dflex. So dflex stands for display flex. This is a utility class from Bootstrap. Okay, if you go to Bootstrap and type flex, so you get this. So you can say dflex. Okay, to define flex, you use dflex in Bootstrap. Okay, then we say justify content center. Okay, now if I refresh, nothing happens, isn't it? Nothing's happening. Why is that? Can anybody guess why is that? Because I personally specified that this hero image should be 50% of the width. So now it's 50% of the width. Now when I say justify center, it's not moving because it has occupied all the width, right? I specify 50% of the width, it has occupied it, but there is no space for this div to move around on the screen, right? So now what if I make this 100% and make this 50%? So now we can see it's on center. Why? Because we got 100% of the width here, and then I told the image to occupy only 50% of the parent width, where now the image has some space to move around. So now if I do this start, this will go to the left hand side. If I say end, this will go to the right hand side. The reason is, since we are occupying only 50% of the width, we have another 50% left out where we can easily move the image around. Okay. Now I'll just make this as center. Right. I think rounded spelling is wrong. No, it's correct. But why is it not rounding the image? Weird. Right. Okay. Now we'll just add some border. I'm going to say border 4, and then border white. Save it. Then we got the border. I think I need to have rounded here as well. Let me just check their documentation real quick. Why it's not rounding? Border radius. Right. Rounded 4. This should work though. Let me save this. Come back. Let's try to round the div itself. I don't know, it won't work though. Okay, cool then. Right, we're done with the image now. We left out with this content now. So let's add this content. So we have namaste here. So I'm going to use H6 for that. Okay, H6 is the lowest heading format. I'm going to type in that namaste and then add an image. Okay, if you don't know how to add this, now if you're using Mac, I think you can hit function key to get the emoji tab over there. Or else if you're not familiar how to get an emoji, then you can just go to Google and then type hands emoji, go to this link, any link that comes up, and you can actually search for this one, copy that, paste it. That should be it. Okay, great. So now, although you can see one thing here, right, the text is dark again, right? The text is dark, it's not white. How can I fix that? It's easy to fix. All we can do is you can just go to body and say, hey, whatever the text I write, it should by default it should be white. So now we can see by default it's white. So we don't have to explicitly come here, like we did in the nav bar and type text white. It's not required. So by default it will be white. Okay. Now what's the next thing that we need? We need my name is Pavan Kumar and then some description on my about me. So I'll just use H2 for that and say my name is Pavan Kumar. So it's up to you, can use H1 for this as well, no problem. Okay, let me use H1 itself, no problem with that. Okay, then we have some description. I'm going to just type in full stack developer from Bangalore, India. Okay, from Bangalore, India. Great. So we have the content setup, the name setup, the description setup. The only thing that's left is this button. So we need view resume button. So let's add that. So button, view resume. Great. Oops, there is no style. How can I add a style here? Let's go check Bootstrap button. So I'm going to just go and check Bootstrap button. Right. Okay, we have a couple of buttons here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some colors. But I need a blue one. So I'm going to check the first code, that is class btn primary. So I'm going to just copy this, paste it here. So now if I go back, you can see I get a blue button. But although this is not exactly same as this one, right? You can see this is actually dark blue, but here it's kind of light blue, isn't it? And also we have some weird style as well. Okay, here we don't have that. It's pretty cool, right? See, so fast, but this one is not that good. Let's see how to fix that later. Okay, we'll fix that as well, no problem. Okay, now we have this button that is ready as well, but the content is not aligned properly, right? So first thing is we need text to be center. Okay, text center, that will give everything center. Okay, that's great. Now everything is done. The only thing that is left is the spacing. Right now the namaste is actually attached to the image on the top. We need to get it a little bit down. So let's do that. I'm going to say margin, M for margin, but I need the margin on top and bottom as well. So at the center we need the content, at the top we need some space, at the bottom as well need some space. Okay, so that not any other content that we add at the bottom won't come attached to it. So I'm going to say my3 here. So what my does is, y stands for y-axis. I think you guys are familiar with x-axis and y-axis, right? In schools and everything in Max. X-axis stands for the straight line, y-axis stands for the vertical line. So in here, in padding, margin, everything, x stands for right and left, and y stands for top and bottom. Okay, so m/3 will give us some space. You can see now we have some space, right? Let me just increase the space. I think 3 is not enough. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, but if I go back, you can see the full stack developer from Bangalore, India. So the color is different, isn't it? The color is kind of different, right? So let's just update that color. Right, so let's just update that color. Let me just get that color for you guys. I think it should be gray color or something like that. I have that color somewhere. Yep. Right, this one. So we'll just write another style here. Let's say text gray. We'll write a class name, text gray 100, then we'll say color this one. Now you can ask me one thing, why am I writing CSS here? Don't we have gray color available in Bootstrap? Actually no. So Bootstrap has limited number of colors in their CSS, the way they structure their whole project. So we don't have much colors. So the colors you get is these things: the blue, gray, the dark gray, green, red, yellow, light blue, the aqua color, and then dark and white and black. That's all. So you don't get a lot of color options on Bootstrap. So that's one of the disadvantages. So what I'm doing is I'm writing another class here that will essentially give me this color. And notice one thing. All right, wait. Guys, up till now you guys are catching up, right? Any doubts up till now? You guys are catching up? Yes? Great. Okay. So now we can see that here, right? No, what happened? Any doubts? You guys have any doubts or any issues? Can you just put up on the chat real quick? I don't see any chat though, but try to I'll be looking at the chat. So if you guys put up any doubts, I'm gonna answer that real quick. Okay. So now you can ask me one thing, while defining CSS, I asked you to use underscore, right? Okay, no, continue. Great. Okay, cool. So while defining CSS, right, I was talking about some standard, right? So what we did was that we use hero underscore container, right? But in Bootstrap, while writing Bootstrap class names, while using Bootstrap class name, you can see hyphens everywhere, right? Even now here I used hyphen, right? Here now I even used hyphen. But this is not a part of Bootstrap. This is not part of it is a custom CSS that I am writing, right? Why am I using hyphen here and I asked you to write underscore here? The reason is separating. Okay, what I'm doing is, if I'm writing custom CSS, okay, if I'm writing a custom CSS or a custom style for an element, I use underscore. Okay, if I'm trying to override a Bootstrap style, or if I'm trying to add something along with the Bootstrap style, okay, then I use hyphen. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to extend Bootstrap style here, right? So Bootstrap has something like this: text white, text text white, text black, text primary. So Bootstrap has all their colors something like this, and you can see everything is hyphen here, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to extend that in my project. I'm trying to extend another color, saying that gray 100. Okay, now we can see all these belong to a same standard, right? Now whenever a developer comes and sees this code, they'll understand, okay, Pawan is trying to extend a color from Bootstrap. Okay, he's trying to extend whatever the color is provided by Bootstrap, is trying to extend that and trying to add his own color to this, right? Whenever someone tries to see this particular code here, so we have hero description, right? Then they'll understand, okay, so this is a custom style Pawan is writing for an element, but this is trying to extend a color or trying to override something. So let's say I want to override this one. Let's say I want to override text white to, let's say, color green. Okay, now what happens is, whenever I use text white, so text white is actually from Bootstrap. So if I search this, so you can see here, color. So see, text white. So you can see this text white, right? Text white. So it's actually from Bootstrap. Now if I use this somewhere, so let's say I use this here, class text white. If I go back to output, is it correct? Why is it not working? Refresh. I think it's not allowing me to override. Let me just force to override. Now we can see, I'll explain what is this important in a couple of seconds, but now we can see we try to override it, right? We overrided the existing style. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so whenever I use hyphen, it means that I'm trying to either override an existing style from Bootstrap or trying to extend the Bootstrap styles. Whenever I use underscore, it means that I'm trying to write my custom CSS. Okay, cool. So let me just remove this. Great. So now let's add one more stuff that is about me. So we'll come back and style all this later, okay, regarding these buttons and everything. But first let's add the content. Okay, next section is about me. Okay, about me. So now I'm gonna add another section. Okay, so about me has h1, that is about me heading on the top, right? And then we have some paragraph. I'm gonna just copy paste that paragraph real quick. Okay, and then we have some calculations like what is the status, right? A status, something like status, like career status or something. So now you can see it is two text, one below the other, and then they are kind of grouped. So what is this? So you have to imagine this as two elements, one element, and they are kind of grouped inside another element. So it is something like this. So a box, inside that we have two boxes. Okay, something like that, 1, 2, and they are grouped inside another box. Okay, so how can we do that? First thing is we need a first box that is a div, the parent box that holds it, another div for individual boxes. Okay, basically two divs. Okay, now we will add it. So we'll say h2 for this, and we will say 22 plus, and then h6 saying that it's projects. Similarly, we have 10 plus and then clients, something like this. If I come back to my output, you can see we got it. Even though it's not aligned, that's okay. We essentially got it, right? Now the thing is we need them to be side by side, right? So I'm going to just do deflex. So by using flex, I can get them side by side. But you can see here, it's kind of attached to each other, right? We need some gap. So there's two things that you can do here. Either you can just go to class and just specify margin like mx2 or mt2 or something like that. That will give you style. Or you can be more cool and then smart and then do this. There's something called flex gap. You can use gap 3 will get you the gap. Okay, and it's not like the gap will only work for 2 elements. Let's say you have 100 elements, all those 100 elements will get a gap automatically applied to them. Okay, right. So then we're done with the about me section here. We'll take care of all this background. We'll come back again to all the style of everything, but first let's get the content ready. Okay, then let's close this, and then next up we have skills. Okay, skills. Okay, it's 5.9 already, cool. So here we need another section, then h1 skills, then let's say we have a paragraph saying that, hey, these are all the things that I worked on throughout my career and everything. So I have a text for that. I'm going to just copy paste it. I'm going to say for all these years I've worked on these technologies. And what are those technologies? Let's list them. So here, if you can see in the output, we have 1, 2, 3, 8 icons here. Okay, each wrapped up in their own boxes, and then they're aligned properly in a bigger box, right? So again, what do? We use div, a bigger box, and then we use another div to create all these small boxes. And inside that box, we need an icon. So where can I get an icon? So the easiest way to get an icon is font awesome. So if I go to font awesome, okay, go inside that. Okay, you have to create an account. Okay, you have to create an account. But if you don't have an account, that's fine. I'm going to show you another trick to get all those stuff. You can just type font awesome CDN link. Okay, go to the first one, CDN.js. Okay, CDN.js link. Font awesome CDN link. Okay, and copy the first one that says 6.11. Okay, say font awesome 6 is the latest one, latest update. And then it should say all.min.css. If it doesn't have all, try to find whichever that says all. Okay, and click on this one, the second one, copy link tag. Okay, click on that, and since it's a link, we paste that here, and we say font awesome CSS, put it here. Okay, now I can use Font Awesome without creating an account on Font Awesome website. Okay, I'm gonna come here, search for an icon. What is the icon I need? I need HTML icon. So I got the icon, click on this code. Okay, make sure you select for HTML. Okay, they have custom code for React, Vue and everything. Make sure you select for HTML. Click on this code to copy it. Okay, come back to your code, paste it here. Okay, now if I go back to output, you can see I get the HTML icon, right? And then I need some text, right? I need text to populate what is that icon is about. I'm gonna say h6 HTML. Okay, now we can see we got it. So similarly, we do this for all of the stuff. So here I'm gonna copy that, paste it, paste it, paste it. Okay, now we'll come back to Font Awesome again. I'm going to search for CSS, copy the CSS icon, replace this, type CSS. Again, I'm going to search for JavaScript, copy this, replace this. I'm going to remove this. I think since all those stuff are similar, to save some time, I'm going to just add 3, but you can add any number of skills that you need. Okay, the code remains the same. All you have to do is you have to change the icon and the content. That's all. The code remains the same. Okay, now we have 3 icons with text and they are one below the other. How can I get them next to each other? Using flex. So I'm going to say class d flex. Oops. Great. Now everything is fine, but you can see the icon is really small, isn't it? It's really small. It's barely visible. So let's just increase the icon size. So now I'm going to say FA to X. So it's basically a Font Awesome standard to increase the size. If you can go to docs here, okay, the documentation of Font Awesome, and then select styling icons and select size, you can actually see they recommend it. So you can see here to 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x. Okay, the higher the number, the higher the size. Okay, I'm going to say 2x. Same here, far 2x. Although we'll replace this with a custom CSS based on device screens, but for now this works. Okay, and then we will say gap around 3 or something. Great, we have the gap right now, but it's not center, isn't it? Everything is leaning towards the left hand side. So for that, what we do is you can say text center. It worked. So we just say text center. Hey, whatever the text we have, keep it centered. So now we can see everything is centered and everything is next to each other. Everything is properly aligned, right? This is perfect. It's working fine. So next up, we need to style all this stuff, but we'll come back again. As I told you, first let's populate the content in our website. Okay, so we are coming to experience, and then we have something called challenge section. So what exactly is challenge section here? Okay, so by the end of this time, right, by the end of this tutorial or this workshop, you'll learn about how to write CSS, how to write custom CSS, how to use Bootstrap CSS, how to make your website responsive for all the mobile, tablet, PC, 2K, 3K, 4K devices and everything. So what I want you to do is, I want you to follow the standard that we have here, right? Wait, I think let me just save this up to the end. Okay, let me just reveal this right now. That's actually bad. Let me just save this to the end. Projects. Oops. Section. Great. So what we have in projects is just a heading and then some card. So it's pretty simple. We'll just say projects. And then we come here, we use a div. So basically we have projects, and then we need one big box to hold all these small boxes, right? This will be the big box, and then we'll have another div. Okay, we'll have another div that will hold all this stuff. So luckily in Bootstrap we have something called card. Okay, something called cards. So you can see here, this is something similar to what we need, right? So you can see that this is something similar to what we need. So what we do, we just copy that, come back here, paste it inside. Okay, now we have a card. If I go to the output, you can actually see a card appear. But the one thing that is missing is it's white. We need it in dark color, isn't it? So what we do is we create another custom style for this to appear in dark color. So if you go to the output and see, the body background and the card is actually same color, isn't it? Right? The body background that we have here, 272734, they both are same color, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna say BG gray secondary. Okay, so again I'm extending Bootstrap style here. I'm going to say background color 272734. Copy this style, come back here, go to the card. I'll remove this custom style they have. I don't want that. I want this to be 100% width. Oh, let me just remove this. We'll just do that later, and paste this background color. So now we can see we have, although you might not seeing that because the background color actually matches with the card, but basically we have the background color of the card as the dark background, okay, dark theme color. Okay, so the card title will be like a project title of yours. I'm gonna say project 1. Okay, and we don't need subtitle, let's remove that. The card text will have brief BRIEF description of the project. Okay, so if I come back, okay, cool, that we have right now. And then there's some link here, but we'll just remove this and add a button instead. Okay, we'll just say button. Okay, we'll just say demo, another button that says GitHub or code, source code, whatever you guys want to call that. Okay, now let's style the button. I'm going to go and search for button again in Bootstrap. Okay, then we'll search for link button. Okay, whenever I click on that button, I want a link to open, right? So there is something called link button somewhere. I did see that. Where is it? Okay, so this is, I think this is it. Yeah, so here we can see, right, we have an anchor tag that actually has a button styles, so that enroll button. So whenever I click on this, that actually opens up a link, right? So let's copy that. Yeah, this one, link button. So if I click on this, a new link will open. So that's actually, it actually kind of looks like a button. So let's copy this. Instead of button, let's paste a link. So we'll do this as a demo, and this one as GitHub. Great. Then wait, we don't have href, right? So since we don't have any projects, I'm going to point this out to my GitHub profile, but you are free to use any link you want here, your project link, your project demo, or source code, or anything. I'm going to just use my own GitHub profile here, but you guys are free to use any link you want. Okay, so if I come back to the output, you can see we get 2 buttons. Okay, but if I click on this actually open up the link in the same page. So if I click on this, you can see it's opening the whole thing in the same page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure this link will open up in a new tab, not on the same tab. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say target _ blank. Okay, so what this will do is this will open up this link in a new tab, not an existing one. Okay, and then I'm going to use another one called referrer policy, and I'm saying no referrer. So what this essentially does is it will tell the browser that this website, I mean my portfolio, okay, is actually not requesting any details from that website. So it's actually it is something for security purposes. Okay, if you are familiar with backend development, and if you're familiar with headers, HTTP headers and everything, you might be familiar with this. So basically it won't add a referrer header. Okay, so what it does is it will tell that GitHub website that the referring website, that is my portfolio, is not requesting any data. Okay, it's a security thing. Okay, same thing here. Now if I click on this, you can see it opens up in a new tab. Okay, it's not in the same tab, it's open up in a new tab. Okay, great. So but the buttons are kind of big, and it's kind of filled, right? But here we have an amazing button, don't we? So we have outline button that is a different color and everything, so that's great. So how can we do this is, instead of primary we use info will give us this aqua color. Okay, this is a standard color from Git, what do you say, this Bootstrap, and then we say outline. That's it. Now we can see we got it. That's it. Cool. Then we need button as small one, right? Not the big button, right? So if you can see the sizes here, you can get it, right? You can see here we have button SM, button small. So we add that as well. If I go back now, you can see we have this amazing button that is small size and properly aligned. Okay. So we're done with this as well. So now we have projects, but it's not properly aligned, isn't it? So even now, if I duplicate this code, I get them one below the other, but if I you can see there is no gap in between them. If I open up this in PC screen, it will take up the whole width. So as we discussed before, we need to do flex, right? We need to add flex here. So I'm going to say d flex. Okay, now everything should be fine. Okay, we'll look into that later, how to handle the overflow and everything, but now it's fine, right? In mobile device it looks good. At last we have one more stuff, that is footer, and footer is not a main content, right? It's not a main content. So I'm going to come out of that main tag and then add a footer here. Okay, and then I'm going to just use icons here for that. Okay, a button with an icon. I'm going to use this envelope email icon. Coming back, okay, email. Okay, this one, button. Wait, before that, how do we need this footer to be? So we need the footer to be like this, a heading and then two text and then few buttons. So then we use a div to wrap this up, then h3 should be fine, reach me at, then another div to properly align this email and then my phone number. So we'll say how can we do this? Can we use button for this? I think no, right? We cannot use button for this. So let's do one thing. Let's use another div. Inside this div we'll have an anchor tag. Okay, first the icon. Okay, the icon of the email. If I come back, icon of the email, we got it, and then a text, a paragraph saying that my email at email.com. That's great. But you can see nothing is visible, obviously. I think it's not getting the styles properly. Right, it's visible, but it's down. So we need to say class flex to make sure they come in the same order. That's great. And then you can see one more thing, even though they're in the same order, right? So icon is on the top and the text is on the bottom, so they're not properly centered or anything, right? So instead of centering, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say align items baseline. Align items baseline. Now you can see they're properly aligned. Okay, now they're properly aligned. Cool. And then we need some gap between them. I'm going to say gap 2 to give a good gap between them. That's great. But if I click on this, nothing happens, isn't it? Nothing happens, right? So how can we actually fix this? So it's simple. We just use anchor tag. So I'm going to say a, add it here. This will create a link, right? This will create a link. And then for href, we will do mail to and say this email. So now basically what happens is, whenever I click on this, an email will open. So right now my email is actually opened up. Let me just show you that. Okay, I cannot get this link here, but actually my email is open in my other tab. Okay, my email app is open. So this will allow people to open up their email apps right when they click on this. So they don't have to copy paste your email address to their email apps. Okay, same thing happens here in mobile phone. So let's go and get the mobile icon, phone. So we'll use the code phone over here, and then we'll say the number. So for that, it's simple. We just say tell and then add the number here. I'm going to say 91, 90, 90, 90, 90, some number, and then same thing over here, plus 91, 90, 909, 909090. Okay, so I think it's 10 numbers though. Yeah. So if I click on this, you can see Chrome is asking me to make a call from my mobile. So without this, it's just a normal text. Okay, but with this one, you are actually increasing the amount of interactivity for the user. So whenever they click, they don't have to explicitly go back to their email app or go back to their phone, copy paste your number and call you. So simply by just clicking on this, they're able to call you. Okay, that's how it improves their interactivity as well. But you can see here we have an amazing thing. Even though here if I click on this I get this, but the text is white and everything here, but it's blue, right? We'll fix that as well. Okay, so same thing, we'll come back down here again, we will add another div. Okay, and next the buttons and icon buttons. So same thing, we just go to Font Awesome, get the icons. Okay, I'm going to just copy paste that code over here real quick to save some time, that I already have this buttons, right? So I already have this button that has a back button dark, that is a black color button that I'm getting, and then LinkedIn ID, LinkedIn icon, Twitter icon, Facebook icon. Okay, cool. Now since we have all the contents ready, it's time for styling. Okay, and now we can say something happened, right? The thing we are getting scrollable, right? I can scroll all those stuff. So how can we fix this? So let's see how can we fix this. Oh, I think I zoomed in, that's why. I thought there were some issues. Alright, cool then. So let's do this. So now let's style from the start to bottom. So what is the first thing that we need to style? The hero content. What is wrong in hero content? The first thing we need is I need to change this white color of this text to a slightly gray, and then the background color of the button. So let's do that. So here I'm gonna say primary. I think we can override the primary styles of the button, right? Instead of creating something new, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just call out the button primary. This is the style from Bootstrap, guys. This is the style from Bootstrap. Okay. Then I'm going to say background color. Okay. I need the background color to be purple, dark blue kind of. So I'm going to use this. Okay. So now we can see the button style change, but when I click on this, it comes back again. Right? How can we fix that? And then there's some white, light blue border as well. So let's fix that as well. So then I'm going to say border color, this one. Okay. Now we can see this is great. This is also fine right now. But how can I actually tackle this issue? So whenever I click on this, I get a light blue again. So for that, it's simple. So let me show you a trick. How can you do that? You can just go to inspect. Go to inspect. Okay, right click and make sure you're on the button. Okay, make sure you're on the button. Go to hover class here. Okay, there's something called HOV, right? Go there, click on focus. Now we can see the button, how it looks when someone click on that, right? When someone clicks on that, this is how the button looks. So based on this, you can actually change it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say button primary focus, and when it's active, right, I want the background color to remain the same. Same goes to border color. So now let me refresh. When someone clicks on my button, wait, didn't change. This should change. Am I doing it wrong? Am I following the different, what do you say? Is it correct? Is the spellings correct? Wait, focus. I think it's correct. Yeah. Oh yes. So now we can see whenever I focus, the background color remains the same, but the border, the thing that above, the around comes, is actually annoying, right? So for that, what we can do is we can just remove box shadow, none. So that's actually box shadow. So now when I click on, you can see when I click on that, it actually works. So let me just refresh this, click on button. So now we can see it actually works properly. Okay, we got a good background dark blue button. Okay, now let's change this text color. So we should have text gray, right? So let's use that. So here, where do we have that? Over here, class text gray. This is not good. We need some more grayish color, like dark grayish color, something like that. So I'm going to use another layer of gray, that is gray 200, a slightly dark gray color. Okay, let me just get that color for you guys. Color, this one. Okay, now if I copy this, let me say 200. This is actually kind of good. So if I go back, you can see this is how we have it here, right? So this is actually kind of good. Okay, but I think the font size of this stuff is kind of small compared to this one, right? The font size is actually kind of bigger here, but we have this font size not quite big in this one. So let's try to tackle that. What's the font size I used over there is actually FS2. So here in H1, I'm going to say I'm using H1 and FS2, font size 2. So this will actually make it kind of, I think they're all the same size, I guess, maybe. And here, let me just use FS6. This should be small, or FS5. Great, this is great. It's kind of big. Let me just remove that. Okay, great. So now we're done with this, but I want you guys to notice an issue here. Can anyone tell me what exactly? Okay, I actually completely spoiled the issue here. That's fine, but can someone tell me what exactly is the issue here? What's the issue that we are facing right now? So the issue that we are facing right now is, we can see all these contents that is attached to the screen, right? They are attached to the whole left and right corner. There is no space between them. So why is that important? So let me just toggle back to my PC screen. Okay, where is this inspect? Let me just toggle back to my PC screen. Now we can see all the contents are on, like it's taking the whole width. Then what's the point of having this? The image is really big. This one is fine. We don't have it aligned yet. But you can see this one, right? About me is going way to the left hand side. There is no content here. There is no space here as well. It's really hard, right? It's really hard to read them. So what we do is we contain them. How are we containing it? So basically we're defining a width. So we're defining a width for the whole content, telling that, hey, no matter the screen size, no matter if the screen is very big monitor, if the user has a very big monitor, it doesn't matter. You have to have a standard width. You cannot move away from this width. So what we'll do is, basically for this main content, I'm going to say container. This container is an official class name from Bootstrap that actually does this. So if you go to that link from Bootstrap, I don't know where with that link, but okay, you can go to see that later. But if you go here, type in container, so you can see this. So they have container, and they'll have this already. See for device that is greater than or equal to 576 pixel, the container width is 540 pixel. So your mobile phones, or let's say your tab and everything, okay, the tab starts from 768 pixel, the iPad and everything. So in iPad devices, whatever the content you write in a website, the projects, the about me and everything, they cannot exceed more than 720 pixel width. So this will be defined. Okay, they cannot exceed more than that. In small laptop and everything, it's 960 pixel. So they cannot move away or override or overflow from that 960 pixel width. Okay, so basically we'll have a space contained. So that's what we're doing. Now if we come back and see, we have a good space here, right? We have a good space. Let me just refresh this. See, apart from footer, because footer is out of this main, so we have a good space. Now let's see the output in PC devices, how it looks. So now we can see everything has space, right? Everything is space, everything is center and is properly aligned. That's great. Now let's write CSS for about me. So about me has a background here, right? A background of slightly dark grayish color compared to our body background. So let's use that. So I'm gonna say another gray, BG gray 300, because it's a darkish gray color. So I'm going to use this background color, this one, then copy this color, come back to find the body section. This is it. Put up a class name, add it here. So now we got it, right? But there is no space, right? We need some inner space. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say P4. When I say P4, now we got some space. Not bad, right? We have some space, everything is cool. But we need this to be rounded, right? The corners are sharp right now. You can see the corners are sharp. We can round it with round ROUNTED. Rounded 4. Save it. I'm not really sure why this rounded is not working. Maybe are we missing anything from Bootstrap? I'm not sure about that though. Let me just check the Bootstrap name that I had before. Okay, I think I was in another Bootstrap though. Bootstrap link. Let me just share that with you guys. This was the link. I was using a beta link. New update link. I think I made a mistake somewhere. What happened? Okay. Maybe something wrong with my Bootstrap link that I'm using here. Let's go to radius. So this is not working though. I'm trying to add this, but this custom CSS is not working from Bootstrap. Alright, let's try a custom CSS. Let me just plug in my laptop 1 second. Okay, let me just plug. Okay, cool. Since this is not working, we might have to write our custom CSS. I think maybe this particular version of Bootstrap doesn't have this style, or it is something else. Some issues maybe, but cool. We'll write custom CSS for that. No problem with that. Okay, so cool. Now we need one more stuff, that is we need to update this about me text color, isn't it? So let's use that. So we already have a text color, that is this one, right? Secondary color. I think this should be it. I was using it for text headings and everything. So text gray. Great. Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to use another one. I'm going to say text gray 250. Because it's not that dark, but it's kind of a little bit dark, so I'm going to use 250. Then I'm going to just add it here. This is the color for that, and then we'll just add it over here. H1 class text gray 250. So now this will update the style. Okay, but okay, we don't have much space around it, so let's try to reduce the padding space. I'm going to use 2, so 2 should be fine. Now 2 is actually a lot. What is the style space that I'm using? P3. Okay. Yeah, this should be good. Okay. So now about me is done. So we are using text gray, but you can see here we have this color, right? Color 22% and then 10% as well. 10 plus. Sorry. So let's update that. So this is actually text primary. So where is the primary color that we're using? This one, right? So now I'm going to override another style, say text primary color primary. So now we use this. Okay. So now wait. Okay, I think wrong field here. All right, we got it. Okay. Cool. So, but we need to reduce this this one as well. So I'm going to say text gray 200 for this one, just to reduce the opacity of that a little bit. I think 250 should be better for that as well. Yes, this is better. So same thing goes to here, 250. Great. So this is done. And then similarly we have skills. So same thing, we'll just copy class name of about me to skills. Okay, then we need all those stuff to be centered. So here I'm going to say text center for this, text center. Same thing for this, class text center. Okay, and then we need all these to be centered as well. So I'm gonna say justify content center. So everything is centered. That's great. That's really great. But you can see everything is attached to one another. So we need some padding, some spacing, sorry. So I'm gonna say m by 4 in all the sections. In all the sections, put up m by 4 so that they won't attach to each other. Okay. So now we can see everybody has a space. So now we need to update this HTML div here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say skill item. Okay, custom CSS for this one. So let's write a custom CSS for this. So come back here, go to the bottom, say skill item. Okay, so what do we need in skill item? We need to update this background, right? So I'm gonna say background color, and what is the color we need to use? I think this one. Do we have that somewhere? Yeah, this one. So great, BG gray 300. Okay, then we need some spacing for that. So I'm gonna say padding 10 pixel. Amazing. But you can see it is at the bottom, right? We have some space compared to the top. How can we fix that? It is simple. You just have to say class m0 for this. Okay, class m0. Same thing for all of this stuff. Okay, now we can see we have it properly aligned. Okay, now what we do is just get it, put up here, say I. So what we're trying to do here is we're going inside the skill item component element and then finding the I tag. So you can see we have I tag here, right? So we're finding that. Okay, although we don't need to change the size here, it's actually perfect here. So let's remove this. Wrong element. All right. So everything looks fine, but you can see the size is actually an issue here. So I'm gonna say width 75 pixel. Okay, the time is already up. Oh my god. Okay, and then we need to update the size as well, font size inside the skill item. I'm gonna say skill item, and then I'm trying to access H6, I guess. I'm using H6, yeah. So we say H6, font size, let's say to 1 rem. I think 1 rem should be fine. 1 rem is actually huge. So let's say 0.8. Yep, it's actually good. Alright, I think this should be it for this one. What is FS8 style? Okay, yeah, 0.8 should be fine, although we are having this issue here. So let's just do one thing. How can let's do a quick fix for this. Great. So we need some style padding or something for this. So here this is we'll just do 15 pixel for this one. So this should actually work. I'm not sure why it's actually moving that. Let's just use flex for that instead of text center. Instead of text center, we will do d flex column, height 100%, and then justify content center, align items center. Okay, now we can see this is actually aligned properly well in compared to text center. So let's fix that for each and every column properly. Now great, it looks great. Now the issue are fixed, everything looks great. Let's add a gap for that. Gap 1 or 2, let's say 2 is fine. Let's add a gap for every single one. Great, if the gap is fine. Now let's see how we can actually add an animation for this one on hover animation. So I say on hover, right, on hover, what we want is I need to change the background color, right, background color to this one, and then transition we need all 4 seconds linear. So this will make an animation for you. So if you can see, if I hover on that, it animation appears, right? See, Isn't it great? So next up we need it, we need to slightly go up a little bit whenever we hover on that. So to do that, what we do is we just use something called translate 3D. So I'm going to say transform translate 3D 0, and this is the x is 0 and y is minus 0 125 rem, and z index is 0. So this will help us. Now you can see it's going a little bit off top, right? See, so we're done with the skill styling right now. I mean, not yet, we're not done with that yet, because there is one issue. If I increase the number of skills that I have right now, you can see it overflows. See, it overflows, right? See, how can we fix that? It's very simple fix. You just have to make sure you align them properly. To align them properly, we just have to do flex wrap. Okay, now no matter how many styles that I have here, okay, so it will automatically arrange itself. It won't overflow, but it will detect that there is no. Hello. I think my video might be buggy because I'm getting some issues with the YouTube here, but I can still see the preview though. Okay, so the Flex will automatically detect that there is no space available to accumulate this component, and it will automatically break the line and then form a new line of rows. Okay, so that's why we use flex wrap. So I'm going to clear them out. Great. So now skills is done. So the only thing that is left is the projects, right? So now what we do is we just close this. Again, for the projects, we need text BG gray background 300, and same thing, padding of 3 should be fine. Great. And then I need this one to be text gray 200, right? 200, right? 250. Okay. 250, and then we say text center. All right, now we just use some my4 here so that all the card will have some space on the top. Next time we'll use width 100%. Okay, now right now, so I need to make this flex. Okay, the issue here is not the flex issue, but we have one issue that if I increase the card, right? If I increase the card here, the project card, you can see here I get this one next to each other, right? I get this next to each other. How can I fix this? You can tell me to make this a flex column, but that doesn't fix everything, because when I move to the PC screen, it will appear in column wise, and if I make it as a row in that particular PC screen, I need to handle the width as well. So the best thing to do here is use columns of Bootstrap. So I'm going to say column 12 for all the cards in mobile devices. Okay, so now we can see everything is fine, right? But although it's breaking, it's overflowing, but you can see it's not like squeezing itself, but it actually takes the whole width. Now how to fix this? Same thing, flex wrap. Now we can see everything is fine. We'll use some gap too. That works actually fine. So now projects is also done. The only thing that is remaining is the footer. So we go to the footer and we have to change a little bit here. That is, we need to add one more text, that is BG. So I'm going to say BG primary, and then we go with background color. Okay, BG primary, that is the dark blue background, class BG primary. So now we got, wait, isn't this the dark blue one? Weird. Let me get the background color, guys, 1 second. And this is actually a wrong color. Is it me, or why is this happening? Oh, okay, I got it now. So basically what's happening is BG primary is a class from Bootstrap, right? So it's restricting me from overriding its style. So how I can override without, even though bypass the restrictions, I can use important. So when I use important, it will say, hey, even though restricting it, it's important that I override this style. So then it will override everything. Okay. So now we can say I got this dark background. So then what I do is I'm going to say deflex, flex column, justify content center, align items center. Okay. Now everything will be centered, and then a little bit of gap should do the trick. Okay, two isn't enough. That's fine. Oops, I think I have, okay, I have another div that actually has this gaps. I'm not sure why I added another div. So let me remove this div, extra div, add it over here. This is fine. Now we got the gap, but you can see there is no space, right? Everything is attached to the blue box. So I'm going to say py of 4. So this will give me enough space like this. Okay, this is great now, but the email and phone number is not properly visible, right? So what we do is we return another extension class, no style anchor or something like. Basically what we're trying to do is we are trying to override all the anchor styles. We are saying that, hey, I don't need any styles for this particular link, right? So we can just use something called clean anchor, okay, where we say font color inherit. So when I say inherit, it will inherit the parent color, that is the white from body. Or if you provide a font color for this footer, then that will be given to this clean color or clean anchor. Okay, then I'm going to say cursor pointer. So whenever a cursor comes on that, I need it to be pointy. Okay, then I'm going to say text decoration none. So text decoration one will convert that so that we don't get underline. Okay, this should be it. So let's add clean anchor for that. Class clean anchor, class clean anchor. So now we can see everything is fine. Even now if I click on this, I get this. But did you notice one thing? When I click on this actually moves, the color changes. How we can handle that? By hover. So we go hover, say color to be inherited again. So this will actually fix that. So if I click on this again, you can see it still works, but the color is perfectly fine. Okay. So now we are kind of done with mobile devices. Okay, the mobile devices style is completely done. Okay, but now it's time for a little bit of refactoring, guys. So the code is pretty messed up here, right? The code is pretty messed up. So it's time for refactoring. So we'll be using something called CSS variables. So what is a variable? CSS variable. So basically you can see we are using same styles anywhere here, right? The blue one, we are reusing it many times here. And we are trying to customly write it, right? So what we do is we create primary color, then provide a color for that. Okay, so essentially what happens is then we reuse this. So instead of typing this every single time, we say var and then provide the reference. Okay, something like this. So now if I change it here, it applies for every single place. So a variable, like in your programming languages you have variables, right? Something like that. So let's just add it. Okay. All right, now we can see we get the same styles, but we are reusing it. So we're making the code more organized. Okay, we're not just like writing just a bunch of code or anything. We're making it more organized fashion. Okay, similarly you can do it for colors and everything, but I'm going to leave it here so that you guys can do that later. Okay, so we have one more thing here. I'm going to just copy this primary color, put it over here. This should work. All right, great. Now let's update this for tablet devices, that is iPad mini. Okay, iPad mini 768, and you can see it's properly aligned, but it's not that good though. So let's align this properly. The first thing that we need to align is this one, right? This section, the hero section. So here we have column 12. So now I'm going to say column medium. MD stands for medium device, that is iPad mini and iPad above that, MD mini. I'm going to say 4. Okay, so occupy only 4 column worth of spaces. All right, then here for this, where is the description? Okay, here I'm going to say column 12 and call MD 8. 8 plus 4 is 10. Okay, 8. So cool. Now they are occupying it properly, but the only thing that is left is they are not a single row. How can we get a row? All we can do is we can say display flex for medium device only. Okay, now we can see they are in a single row, but their position is reversed, right? How I can improve that? How can I fix it? So we just give flex. Search for flex direction. We need it to be reversed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say flex MD row reverse. The reason why I'm specifying MD is because I need this to be only applied on medium devices, not on mobile screens. That's why I'm explicitly specifying it as MD. Okay, now if I come back again, you can see, wait, not this one, here the row is reversed right now, right? The rows are reversed. That's great. That's really great. But now how can I handle width? I need to increase the size here, but how can I handle width here? So Bootstrap doesn't have any inbuilt responsive width or anything. So you have to customly write your CSS. So let's write a CSS for that. It's very simple. You just have to say media. Okay, media. It should be 768, right? Yeah. So media only screen. Okay, only screen, and then minimum width should be 768 pixel. If that's the case, then this particular CSS will be applied. Okay, here we have hero image. So let's get that. This is weird. Okay, hero image, right? And then we need the size to be increased. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this width over here, width 100% over here. Okay, this width 50 over here. Okay, then I'm going to say hero image img width to be I think 200 pixels will be fine. It works. Now what did I do here? What I did is I went inside, I found the hero image element, that is this div, right? And I went inside that and I'm selecting all the image tag. So inside this hero image we have one image tag and I'm selecting it, and then I said, hey, apply width 200 pixel. Okay, now the image is big, but if I go back to mobile screen, it will be kinda messed up. It is messed up, isn't it? How can I fix this? I just copy this again, and for mobile devices I come outside this media, okay, and then apply the same thing. Okay, and now you can remove this here, it doesn't matter, it actually works. If I come back again, iPad mini, same thing. Okay, because this is applied for all the devices right now unless and until you modify it here. Okay, but one thing we need to modify is this one, right? It's actually centered, but I don't need it to be centered here. So how can I do that? So let's go to hero description. Let's say hero description here. Now here I'm going to say text align left. It's not applying. Okay, because we have text center over here, it's actually overriding it. So let's do one thing, we'll override as important. Now it should work. There you go. All right, that's great. And then we come back to flex here and then say align items center. There you go, we have it. So we are done with updating for hero component. Sorry, the hero part is done, and about me part is already fine, skills is already fine, although we can increase this size a little bit. So let's do that. So skill items, let's get the skill items, and then instead of H6 we'll refer to I, and then we'll increase the font size to 2M. So the font size, the I font size refers to this icon. So if you increase it to 3, the icon will get bigger. So there you go, it's bigger. So I'll also increase the skill items width as well. So I'm going to say width 100 pixels, so that the width is kind of bigger. See, the box is kind of bigger now, everything seems to be fine. So the projects is the issue here. You can see it's actually occupying the whole width and there are a lot of white spaces. The spaces are kind of wasted, right? So let's fix that. So instead of call 12, For medium devices, we'll say call 6 maybe, if that's fine. Not 6, let's use 5, because we're also specifying gap here, so that might be an issue. So let's say call 5. So it will occupy 5 column worth of spaces. Okay, so now if I refresh, this should work. Column MD5. Am I trying to override or something here? What's happening? There should be some small mistake that's actually preventing this from occupying that. Maybe this width 100%. Yes, that's the one. So let's remove that. Remove this width 100%. This should work now. Great. Now we can see everything seems to be working fine, but it's all again on the left hand side. It's easy to get it on the right hand side. That we do is justify content center. So now it's properly aligned, right? Now it's properly aligned. You can also increase the gap if you want, but I think this is fine. Okay, so now everything looks good on medium devices, but only thing that we're missing is this blue background. How can I add this blue background? That's very simple. It's just a div. Okay, so what I do is I come inside hero container. Okay, since it's a hero, right? I come inside hero container. I add a div. Okay, that's it. Nothing else inside it. I give a class name as hero overlay. Okay, come to the style, and I don't want this overlay to be visible in mobile devices, so I'm gonna say display hidden for that. Okay, display none for that. And then from this device, from the tab devices, I'm gonna say this hero overlay width to be around 100 pixel. I think that should be enough. Height to depend on the device width, device height. So if I'm using Apple iPad mini, the height and width is different. Apple Air is height and width is different. So I'm gonna say 50 VH. Okay, this is viewport height. So depending on the height of the devices, the height will be calculated automatically. Okay, so now if I come back, I cannot see this yet because I didn't actually position it. So I'm gonna say position absolute. So I have to explicitly position it. Okay, now I'm gonna say z index of -10. Why is it not coming up? What's wrong with this? Okay, I've actually hidden it, but I didn't actually display it over here. This should work, and I didn't provide any background color, so I'm gonna say background primary color. Now it appears, right? Now it appears properly. That's great. Now, but you can see one issue is that it's not actually on the occupying the whole space, right? So I'll just say right 0. So start from the right hand side. Now we can see that it works perfectly fine. I just have to increase the width, and it's perfect. So now we can see it's occupying from the right hand side. Right 0, what will it will position from the right hand side, from the starting point of the right side of the screen. Okay, so now overlay is working fine, and tablet view looks perfectly fine. Now let's see for PC screen. For PC screen, I'm going to go to responsive test here, paste it here, check it. So everything seems to be fine. The only thing that we have to edit is this one, right? This thing. So the screen size is 1024 pixel, but let's see if this one, if Bootstrap has breakpoints for this. Okay, so we are done with 768. We need to do 922. So same thing, copy this, paste it again, change the min width to 992. Okay, we don't need the hero description to be aligned. I think we need to actually update the skill set though. Okay, I think it's fine. So let's remove these styles. The hero overlay, these styles is not required. All we need to do is we have to edit the height and width. So let's say 200 pixel width, and then 70 VH, 80 VH. Seems good, right? It seems good now. So everything seems good here apart from that. So we are done with this. Let's test another screen, that is 1280. So it looks fine, isn't it? It looks fine, no problem with that. Although I feel like this is not good. So it's 1280. Let's see if they have a breakpoint for that. They do have it. It's Excel. So let's go to index.html. Let's go down. Let's find the column. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say column XL3. So let's actually reduce a little bit of size for that so that we can occupy more project cards. So now if I wait, not here, here. If I go back, you can see we're occupying more project cards in the single single screen or a single view. Okay, or you can do it 4. I'm not sure whether 4 is fine. I think 4 should be fine. It looks good. It looks good now. Cool. It's kind of bigger and it's occupying more space. Right. So it looks good here. Let's increase the screen size to 1366. Looks good, but this we have to fix this. Do we have a breakpoint for that? 1366? No, we don't. So we have to edit this one. So I'm gonna say 250 for this. Wait. We do have it. We do have 1200, right? So let's copy this, paste it again. Let's do 1200 and say 250 width. So now we have a good response for this as well. Let's go to 1366. Oh, that was viewer, right? Let's go to 1440. It looks good. Let's go to 1920. It's not good. So let's see the breakpoint. We have 1040. So let's copy that. Paste it. Hero overlay width is 350. Oops. Come back. Not quite good, but we need to increase it a little bit more. 450. Nope. 500. And we'll decrease it to 60 VH. This looks good. Then let's just increase the more width here to occupy like 2K screen and everything. So basically we'll be just increasing the size. Let's say for 2K screen it's 2500, right? So let's say 2500 and they will increase it to 700 pixel. 700 is not enough, so 800 pixel and then 40 VH. Look, similarly you can increase this breakpoints and then edit this up to whatever the screen size you need. So this will make sure they are perfectly fine for every single devices. Okay, now we can see it's responsive for every single devices out on the market. So you can edit this for 3K, 4K, 5K screens as well. Okay, now that's it. We are done with the portfolio here. So now we can see we have it perfectly responsive portfolio. If I go to mobile devices, it's perfectly fine. If I go to any tablet devices, let's say this one, so it's perfectly fine. You can see it's properly aligned. If we go to any device screen, okay, what is this? 1600. Don't we have it for 1400? We do have it, right? Let's make it 450. This looks fine. So you can see it's properly aligned for every single devices, right? So this is very important for you guys. You need to like use something tools like this to check responsiveness on every single device, so that you make sure that whatever the monitors or whatever the screens that the user is using, it is properly responsive for them. Okay, great. So coming to the challenge, that right now if you can see here, we have something called experience and then the challenge section. So what I want you guys to do is, so right now we used variables. We tried to build all the background color and everything in a similar structure, a standard format, right? The font size, we use the same font size here, and we use the same buttons colors as well. And then you can see the primary color is same, the background blue, the button blue, the text blue. Here all the primary color is same. So these are the standard colors. Okay, I want you guys to design build a experience tab here, a experience section. You can use your own layout you want. Okay, make sure you add the year, the title, like a full stack developer, and what is the year you worked on, like 2015 2016 full stack developer, company name, and then description of that. Okay, It's up to you guys how you can align it properly and everything. I'm gonna post this up in the Discord as well, like how we like what is the description of the challenge and as well. So how we judge is based on your design skills, how you design, how you align the content, and how is it responsive, is it does it look well in mobile devices and then PC devices, tablet devices and everything, and are you following the structure or the standards. Okay, so we followed iPhone standard for Bootstrap styles and underscore standards for custom CSS. So we'll look into that as well. And the way you write code. Okay, is it whether it is good or whether it can be simplified. Those things matter as well. So by judging on this, we will announce 3 winners who will get our merch, DualLearn merch delivered to them. Okay, so we'll be sending you out a t-shirt. Okay, we will mail you first, we get your address, we get your size and everything, and then we'll mail you a custom made DualLearn t-shirt for you. Okay, that's the challenge for you guys. All right, now coming to the when to use Bootstrap and when not to use Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is fine, Bootstrap is amazing, you can build any types of website with Bootstrap, but the only issue is that it has limitations. So in terms of color, in terms of size, in terms of utility and everything. So we saw that Bootstrap doesn't provide custom width. Okay, Bootstrap only provides 4 types of width: 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. Similar to height, same goes to height: 25, 50, 75, 100, and it is not responsive. Okay, so even that applies same for spacing as well, like padding and margin. It doesn't provide a good number of padding and margin as well. So it is limited, around 5 range of padding and margin, and that too it's not responsive. So to make it responsive, you have to create custom CSS. Okay, and it also provides only 5 standard colors. That's it. So if you need more color, you need to create one by yourself by writing custom CSS. Okay, so that's in basics, that's one of the disadvantages of Bootstrap. Okay, and then what do you say? Bootstrap loads all its CSS into your HTML document. Even if you use it or not, it is loading every single thing. Right here in Bootstrap, we didn't use accordion, we didn't use alert, we didn't use batch, we didn't use bedcom. I didn't use carousel, I didn't use collapse, I didn't use drop down, but all these styles are currently in my HTML document. Okay, when browsers load my HTML document, it is actually loading up every single thing. Okay, every single thing. So this is one of the issue with Bootstrap. Okay, so there are more issues, but it's kind of enough for now. Okay, since you guys are getting started, these details are enough. But in the future, we have many workshop lined up on Tailwind, Chakra UI, and then React and everything. So in that workshop, we will actually compare Bootstrap with those Tailwind, compare Bootstrap with Chakra UI. We will see how these libraries like Chakra UI, Tailwind are actually solving the issues that is occurring from Bootstrap. Okay, for now this is enough. Okay, so we covered when to use Bootstrap and not to use Bootstrap. So if you need a simple website, right, simple static website, go with Bootstrap. Okay, if you are building a complex web application, right, that has a multiple pages, multiple pages of UI, right, then don't use Bootstrap. It's really bad. Okay, because you need to do a lot of stuff, a lot of work on that. Okay, but sometimes Bootstrap is preferred in many teams. In that case, do one thing, just go to the design first. Okay, then find out what are the new different colors that Bootstrap doesn't provide to you, and what are the different elements that you have, what are the different types of styles that you have, the size that you have, and design your own custom CSS for that, like overriding Bootstrap styles on that, and then try to use it. Okay, instead of writing custom fixes here and there, you can actually write a standard CSS fix for that. Okay, so that is it, guys. So if you guys have any, I know many people are not online here, but if you guys have any questions, you can drop it here or in Discord. So let me just show you this one thing that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, here you go. So in Discord, we have a Discord channel for DualLearn where we hang out and everything. So I would really request you guys to join this channel. This channel link, I'm dropping this in the description as well as in the chat as well. So we will be announcing our future workshops, conducting a poll, and we'll actually we'll let you guys choose what type of workshop you guys need and what is the content you need and everything. So I would really appreciate you guys if you join this Discord and hang around with people. So please come join the Discord, put up your name, just say hi. Some people will reply, just hang out with them, just get to know them, see what they are trying to do, what they are working on, ask them about their what is the thing that they are trying to learn. And if you learn something new, this we have this channel called Today I Learned. Just come here, put up a brief description of what you learned. So on the other day, I learned about mining and proof of work on blockchain network, and I just put up a summary on what it is and everything. So other people look into that, they will just lead, and then they'll just understand, okay, this is what this thing mean. This is what mining is. This is what proof of work is. So they'll just understand it. So without them going to personally go into something, some website or some YouTube or something, looking it up, they can actually read it from you, and they'll appreciate you for that. So this is one thing that we are trying to do, approach that we're trying to take. So I would really appreciate you guys if you try to join our Discord group and then try to hang out with people. So we have many channels here, like a job posting showcase. So if you have any project, you can showcase it here. If you have any job, you can put it up here if you are hiring. And then if you need a partner for anything, for a startup or for your projects or anything, you can put up a channel. People will be interested to talk to you regarding this. And then we have blogs where you can share your blogs. If you read books, you can share about those books here. Similarly, we have languages like JavaScript, Python, Solidity. So if you get stuck in any of this stuff, you can put up a message over here. People will try to help you. Similarly, we have many other channels as well. And then Dave and I are admin, we'll be online here. And then we have 2 moderators as well. So 4 people will be online anytime on Discord, except night. Okay, so we have to sleep as well, right? So if you guys have any question, just put up a message and we'll reply to you within minutes. Okay, either one of us will reply to you within minutes. We'll try to help you to solve it. Okay, so it took 18 minutes more than we expected, but really sorry for that. But cool, guys. So I'll post the description of the challenge in Discord as well. So I would really appreciate if you guys join there and then hang out with us. Okay, thank you for joining this live, guys. I hope it really helped you a lot. I know it was kind of boring though, because I tried to drag a little bit more. Okay, but in end of day, I just want you guys to learn about the standards and how to write code, how to structure them properly. So it just dragged around 80 minutes more, but really sorry for that. But we'll meet again next time. So next Saturday we are planning to conduct Next.js the workshop on Next.js. So Next.js is another library that implements a production ready code for React. Okay, so you learn about Next.js, how to use Next.js, how to write production ready code. So I'm thinking about converting this particular portfolio that we built right now to Next.js and actually show you how easy React makes to how simple React makes to build websites and everything. Okay, so thank you guys. Please subscribe to the channel as well. Please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.